of the Red Bull Battlegrounds. How are you, Austin, Texas?
I hope you're excited. Day one had 16 of the top players battling it out here in their groups, and now we're down to just the top 8, and we're gonna get to see every single matchup throughout the bracket for today.
I mean, there were a lot of underdogs coming into the tournament, some semi-unknowns, but as it turned out for Championship Sunday, no upsets going in. All the best of the best made it out of their groups, dodged those bullets. And we'll start with the quarterfinals coming up in 20 short minutes. Now, some people didn't get the chance to see the day one action.
Right?
So we have a special video for any of you who missed some of the action yesterday at Red Bull Battlegrounds Day 1.
What is up, Austin? Are you guys ready for 16 of the best players from around the world?
You know what, Marcus? I would love to
to
talk to you a little bit about some of the highlights from Red Bull Battlegrounds Day 1.
Sure.
Starting in Group A, we saw Illusion coming right out the gate, falling to Stefano. Look at Stefano overrunning everything. Illusion, despite great positioning, a solid opening, unable to overcome the macro of Stefano.
Uh-oh, it might be, but he is going to attack. Bailey's rolling in. Oh no, hitting all the Marines, and suddenly Illusion may be hurt here, as he's only got tanks here to deal with this. Lings are running rampant inside the main and the third and the natural of his opponent. There are burrow banelings everywhere as well, and Illusion is not looking to be in great shape.
A nice baneling bomb. And there, Thorazane is getting launched onto with all those Blink Stalkers. We see the Templar get picked off fairly quickly, and Sase manages to walk over the very carefully positioned army. And that boosted Immortal is doing so much pain, and it looks like Teja might barely break it. No, he doesn't, and in the main base, so many Zealots. One hell of a play.
Interesting to see. Okay, so we now see what could potentially turn into desperation DTs, which are one of the sickest ways to come back in any match. He's now adding on his Twilight Council.
And this will be cleaned up, trying to get rid of his final Zealot. Unfortunately, Marauders, only one of you will leave. And there we go, Double Storm that is completely cleaned up by Squirtle.
And this is a very dangerous position for Liquid Red to be in. The Broodlords are spread out. Can he possibly avoid death by the Vortex? No, it looks like they're all the units spread out, and Liquid Red's army gets obliterated. Red has to rebuild from scratch, and Squirtle has deflected the Broodlord push yet again.
There it is, GG from
Good
Liquid
game.
Red.
Squirtle now advances #1 in his group. He and Parting, people called them the obvious choices to get out of the group, because right now advancing on to tomorrow from Group A, Stefano and Empire Violet. From Group B, we have Teja and Sase. From Group C, Bomber and MC. And from Group D, the two Korean Protosses, Squirtle and Parting. Just an incredible display of skill from all the players who've been out there training in Korea, and per usual, the one exception is Stefano.
Some awesome matches undoubtedly are going to be heading our way. Day one was absolutely incredible, and now with 8 players remaining, we are about to embark on a journey into day 2 with some epic StarCraft here at Red Bull Battlegrounds.
We are here at Austin City Limits live at the Moody Theater for the final day of the LAN action, and I'm gonna be honest, every single player coming into this tournament was incredible. The games that we saw across the board, extremely close, a ton of really long games. And I want to begin by just looking once again at those group stage standings so we can see some of the results from yesterday. There you see all the players qualified, highlighted in that brilliant Day 9 yellow, which is, of course, not nearly as important as the players who did qualify. In Group A, I think it's no surprise that Stefano made it out, but surprising that he was able to 3-0 the entire group.
Yeah, and additionally, Violet actually had a moment of, oh no, as he was up against Illusion to basically get out of the group. I think a lot of people were just expecting Violet to quite easily make it through, but Illusion certainly gave him a run for his money. Out of Group A, Stefano and Violet.
And of course, in Group B, Sase really surprising everyone with unusual Warp Prism play, crazy openings, taking down the two Terrans, Teja and Thorzane. Chef did get a little bit of revenge in that group, knocking down Sase in the final series, though Chef didn't advance. Chef has lost to Sase in virtually every tournament they've played. And joining Sase out of Group B will be Liquid Teja.
And now I think Teja's real moment of truth, of course, is going to be the brackets. A lot of people have said they're looking for him to make another breakout as such a great, incredible player. Will it be here at Red Bull Battlegrounds?
Group C, one of the groups that was cast on the 3rd stream at the Red Bull Battlegrounds. An amazing performance by the one player who I think is labeled as the biggest slumper in the entire group. I mean, MC and Huck have continued to put on results, but Bomber has been floundering in a lot of the Korean leagues.
He has, and I mean, it's an interesting Group C because MC has sort of been up and down himself, but I'll tell you what, Sean, today got a chance to talk to a few folks as they were coming into the venue, and there were at least 4 or 5 people that said, I'm rooting for MC today.
And MC, of course, has a huge fan base, and I know some of you are out there as well, the fans of MC.
There they are.
And Group D, you know, it was, I think a lot of people consider this the possibility for upset in Group D. I mean, Liquid Ret getting very, very close even against Squirtle, but I mean, I think it's no surprise to anyone that Squirtle and Parting were the 2 Protosses to advance.
Yeah, I mean, Squirtle coming off an amazing GSL Finals, Parting also with some incredible results as of late. 2 teammates now separating, going their own ways, may have to face each other later on in the brackets, and we'll just see how that will begin to unfold today.
Now, for any of you who are tuning in for the first time, let's just briefly go over the schedule. For day number 2, it is just essentially going to be tournament playing out until it's all said and done.
That's right. Quarterfinals 1 and 2 played. We'll have that on both streams. One will be going to the house, the other one going out to the web, of course. All of these matches will be streamed. We'll follow up then with the quarterfinals, and then we move right in. Semifinal 1, semifinal 2. We'll, of course, have the match for 3rd and 4th place. And then at 9 o'clock tonight, the grand finals of Red Bull Battlegrounds.
And, of course, to help us with our preview of the tournament matches that you're going to be witnessing today, I want to bring up none other than the handsome casting pair of Husky and Rob. Welcome to our casting podium, gentlemen. I want to go ahead and step in to the brackets of the event and take a look at some of the matchups that we're going to have coming up right out the gate. On the first stream, the big one is, of course, going to be Stefano will be going up against Parting. What are your thoughts on how that top match is going to be panning out?
Sean, I saw you talking to Stefano before. I've never seen him feel nervous or anything like that. He's just always super, super prepared. And so I'm curious to see, like, he already did extremely good in his group, of course, going that 3-0. And I would expect nothing better, but nothing other than a stellar performance out of him. But Parting's pretty good.
And hearing just a little bit from Stefano talking about this is essentially his money scenario to make it into the grand finals, right? Because he's going to play Protoss the whole way if he makes it through this, and he loves his ZVP.
I mean, we did get the chance to see that Parting did the 2-base all-in twice in a row against Ret. I mean, we casted that final game together, Marcus. It seemed to just hit at such an incredible time.
Yeah, and you know, Stefano is going to have to figure out if he can use his macro style to actually defeat that, which many people say you can't, that you have to kind of revert away, and you have to specifically start playing to defeat those all-ins, and that will be a challenge you'll have to face here today.
And of course, if you gentlemen had to make predictions on the Stefano Parting match, that best of 3 beginning on Antigua.
I'm going to go with Stefano. He seems so confident. Every time he does an interview, he just seems not to be nervous. He's always prepared. And he says he doesn't play much, but we all know he does. So I think he's absolutely going to be ready for this.
I'm actually genuinely surprised every time Stefano's like, no, I don't really play that much. And then you see 65 ladder wins in a row over 2 days. Stefano, I honestly think that he will be able to take down Parting.
Yeah, Stefano's confidence has more than won me over. I'd have to go with Stefano as well.
I'll stick with that.
Oh, wow. But now if Parting wins, we're actually all terrible people.
Well, fortunately, what we can do to avoid this is just move on to the bottom quarterfinal and discuss that. Now, the top and bottom quarterfinal will be played at the same time, as those are the 2 quarterfinals that have players from groups A. And down there, we see Violet going up against Squirtle. I mean, Squirtle really well known for coming back from great defensive play. Violet really well known for aggressive counterattacking play.
I'll kick this one off. I'm going to go out on a limb, and I'm going to say that Violet's looking for yet another victory here. He's had a victory at MSI Battlegrounds, just won the MLG Spring Arena. I'm going to have to go with Violet over Squirtle.
I'm going to have to go against you for once, DJ Wheat. I'm going to say Squirtle. Because every time I doubt him, apparently everyone else there, man.
That was the correct answer according to the crowd.
100% on that one. But every time I doubt him, I just look at that picture that someone made that has all of his crazy runs through all the different tournaments.
Very
I definitely
true.
think he deserves a ton of support, and this could be another major event for him to win. And I mean, he's only like, what, 3 matches away from, you know, being able to take it. So I'm going to be rooting for my favorite Pokemon.
Now, Violet's going to have a lot of the fan weight, right? Of course, being from Texas himself, that's where he's been training most recently. But I'm also going to have to go with Squirtle here. I love Violet, love him so much. But
how about you, Sean?
I'm going to go with Squirtle. He
You know,
plays so
I
strong.
think in terms of play, I'm going to lean just ever so slightly to Empire Violet, just due to the fact that Squirtle, we saw him nearly lose to Rhett when Rhett was getting a little bit too over-aggressive, and I honestly think that Violet, despite all his, you know, fame for counterattacking, crazy base trading, he's the one player who knows when it's time to back off, and I think that if he can maintain that cool head, he'll be able to take the win. So let's go ahead.
with you.
Yeah, let's look at some of those center matches. I want to begin with Sase versus MC, one of the mirror matches coming up. I mean, I think this is going to be a pretty insane PvP.
Yeah, I mean, MC known for some PvP play. Sase just kind of having this sort of unique style of play. Also throws off a lot of other Protosses. But, you know, MC, he practices a lot with Huck, a great PvP partner.
Yeah.
I mean, Sase, he's got the Startail team that he often practices with. So you can't really, I mean, on paper, it's hard to decide. I mean, MC is a multiple GSL champion. He's won MLG events, and Sase is still looking for any sort of breakout victory he possibly can. Getting past MC would just be an accomplishment within itself.
Yeah, I do want to say I was casting MC very late last night. I cast all 3 of his games I played. I don't know if I remember them correctly because I was delirious at that point. But what I do seem to remember is that MC, I mean, he did scrape by through the group, but he definitely seemed to struggle in some of the PvP engagements. Most of the stuff that I recalled was versus Huck, so I don't know if he's feeling a little bit weird playing Huck because he's played him so many times in the past. But now that he has another PvP series here, he can't make those mistakes because now you're out, you don't have a series you can drop. So I'm going to go with Sase because his hat is awesome.
Yeah, and regardless of whatever PvP MC was able to play yesterday, you can bet it's going to be different than whatever Sase's bringing to the board. So I'm going with Sase, too.
I mean, Sase, honestly, at the very least, will look so cool no matter what he does. I mean, incredible re-rallying throughout, but MC, no slouch in this matchup at all. And I would say MC, despite his, you know, consistent performance, it's actually all been founded on incredible unpredictability. He's the most successful player, I think, who's willing to go all in on a dime, but still has the incredible long-term play. And of course, that brings us to our final match, Bomber versus Teja, which I think is going to be one of the most dynamic, aggressive TVTs in the entire tournament.
Yeah, I mean, watching Teja, I had a ton of fun casting those games the other day, and I kept saying it. I don't know if I was repeating it too much, but his units just weren't dying. It would be an engagement where you've seen so many games that you expect the, you know, the battle to go a certain way, but he just micros so well. I'm going to have to give this one to Teja. He has a multitude of TVT builds, and he is really good at microing units. So just from his performance, based purely on last night, if he takes that today, Bomber's going to have a tough time.
Bomber's also a Red Bull sponsored athlete, so, you know, this is sort of home field advantage for him, and I'm going to have to just say that Bomber might be able to squeak out a win as a result of that.
As long as Teja is able to play at the top of his game and keep those units alive, like you said, as long as he's able to control to the T as he usually does, Teja can take this.
So Bomber, I think, is in a really interesting position because he won his GSL Code A title over MVP in Terran vs. Terran with ridiculously aggressive play. And despite all that long slumping, he's really, I've honestly regained a lot of faith in him after seeing the 3-0 yesterday and casting his games. It's not just that his mechanics are up to par, but he's doing aggressive builds, unusual builds that still combine that really fast 3-base play. So I'm honestly probably leaning slightly towards Bomber in this match, but it's all going to be about whether Bomber can keep up that momentum.
I agree. What do you guys think?
Go Teja. Teja.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, as we take one final look at the bracket, get ready to get out your pen and paper, write down your predictions, because every single one of these matches is going to be played out today. Best of 3 in the quarterfinals, best of 5 in the semifinals and 3rd, 4th place. In the evening, we'll wrap up with that best of 7 grand final, all here today on Tournament Sunday. So whatever you do, stay here. Tune into the other streams, RedBullUSA.com, RedBullUSA.com/LAN, Twitch.tv/Day9TV. We're going to get ready to kick off both streams right after this. See you then.